It all started with one video. Just a single clip, shaky, unedited, but powerful enough to turn the entire Harris family upside down. KingHarris, the outspoken son of rapper T.I. and Tiny, decided to go live one late night, and what he shared left the internet frozen. It wasn't a song, not a fight, not another viral moment from his unpredictable behavior. It was footage that hinted at something nobody ever imagined. A secret marriage between T.I. and Shekinah, Tiny's once best friend turned bitter rival. For years, people speculated about tension between Tiny, Shekinah, and T.I., but it was always brushed off as gossip. Fans thought it was just another round of drama in the Harris household. But when King leaked that footage, everything changed. It was no longer rumors. It was real, raw, and impossible to ignore. The clip showed T.I. standing in what looked like a small private ceremony room. His voice low, his tone serious. And right beside him, wearing a white dress, was Shekinah. Their hands were joined, their eyes locked, and for a few seconds you could hear vows being exchanged. The internet went silent before it exploded. Because this wasn't supposed to exist. T.I. was still publicly with Tiny. They had built an empire together, a family, a brand, a story that fans had followed for nearly 2 decades. So how could there be another woman? And not just any woman, but Tiny's closest friend? As the footage spread like wildfire, King's name began trending everywhere. His decision to leak the video wasn't random. Sources close to the family said King had been holding on to that clip for months, and that he was tired of secrets. He'd been watching his parents fight, his home filled with tension, and he finally snapped. To him, telling the truth was the only way to stop the chaos. But what he didn't realize was that this truth would tear everything apart even more. Within hours, Tiny's fans flooded social media with messages of disbelief. Some defended her, others questioned her silence. She didn't respond at first. She just vanished. No posts, no stories, no comments. Meanwhile, Shekinah went live, tears streaming down her face, trying to explain what really happened. But her explanation only made things worse. She said something that sent chills down everyone's spine. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that," she whispered. "It wasn't love, it was survival." Those words sent fans spiraling. What did she mean by survival? Was she forced? Was this marriage real? Or was it some kind of arrangement? The confusion only deepened when T.I. finally appeared online, not to confirm or deny, but to defend his son. His tone was heavy, emotional. "My boy made a mistake," he said, "but y'all don't know what's really been going on behind closed doors." This family's been holding pain for years. That one statement opened a floodgate of emotions, because everyone suddenly realized this wasn't just about a secret marriage. It was about betrayal, loyalty, and years of buried hurt finally coming to light. Behind the cameras, the music, and the public smiles, the Harris family had been falling apart piece by piece. King's video was just the spark that finally set the truth on fire. People started digging. Old interviews, deleted posts, private moments, fans began connecting dots that had been ignored for years. They noticed how Shekinah used to defend Tiny with her whole heart, how she used to travel with her everywhere. Then one day it all stopped. Their friendship ended abruptly, and both women refused to say why. Tiny claimed Shekinah had betrayed her. Shekinah claimed Tiny had used her. But what if both were telling the truth? What if the betrayal ran deeper than anyone imagined? As the video continued to circulate, legal experts started speculating. If T.I. and Shekinah were actually married, even secretly, it could have major financial and legal implications. Tiny and T.I.'s empire wasn't just built on love, it was business too. Joint properties, music royalties, production deals, all tied together. A secret marriage could change everything. And if Tiny didn't know about it, that meant her trust, her reputation, and her money were all on the line. Days passed, and still no official response from Tiny. But insiders claimed she had broken down completely after seeing the footage. She reportedly told close friends she felt humiliated and betrayed in the worst way possible. Because this wasn't just about another woman, it was about that woman. The one she once called a sister, Someone who knew her family, her home, her kids. Someone she trusted more than most. And that's what made the pain unbearable. Meanwhile, King's situation got worse. What started as a truth bomb quickly turned into chaos. Some people praised him for exposing lies. Others accused him of destroying his own family. T.I. was caught in the middle, furious at his son for leaking private moments, but also heartbroken that his choices had led them here. Behind the scenes, there were reports of shouting, slammed doors, and tears. King reportedly refused to apologize, saying, "I'm tired of everyone acting fake. This family needs to stop lying." It was brutal honesty, and maybe that's what the Harris family needed, but it came at the worst possible time. The media spun the story into every direction. Interviews, gossip headlines, even fake wedding photos started popping up. And while most were clearly edited, one image stood out. A still from the leaked footage showing T.I. slipping a ring onto Shekinah's hand. It wasn't blurry. It wasn't doctored. It was real. The emotional weight of that image was too much for fans to process. Some refused to believe it, saying it had to be part of a music video. Others believed it was proof of something much darker, that T.I. and Shekinah had been hiding a relationship long before King was even born. And that changed everything. A few weeks later, a source close to Shekinah finally spoke. They claimed that years ago, before Tiny and T.I. got married, T.I. and Shekinah had a brief relationship that no one knew about. It was hidden, quiet, and complicated. But when Tiny entered the picture, everything changed. Shekinah backed off. Tiny got closer to T.I., and the rest was history. Or so it seemed. Because according to this insider, that connection between T.I. and Shekinah never fully died. It just stayed in the shadows. And when things between Tiny and T.I. started falling apart years later, the past came rushing back. That's when things began spiraling. Tiny started noticing small changes. Whispered phone calls, hidden messages, unexplained absences. She had her suspicions, but she didn't have proof. Until now. King's video didn't just expose a secret, it confirmed everything she feared. And while fans were busy reacting online, Tiny was reportedly preparing to take action behind the scenes. Sources claim she called her lawyers immediately after the footage leaked. She wasn't just heartbroken, she was furious. Because this wasn't only emotional betrayal, it was a potential public scandal that could destroy her brand. Tiny had worked for years to build her image back up after past controversies, and now everything was falling apart again, this time because of her husband and her best friend. But just when everyone thought the story had reached its peak, another twist surfaced. A private voicemail allegedly from T.I. to Shekinah started circulating online. In it, T.I.'s voice could be heard saying, "I told you we'd handle this quietly. Now it's out, and they'll never understand." The message ended with a deep sigh, one that sounded like guilt, regret, and exhaustion all at once. That recording reignited the fire. Fans demanded answers. Shekinah disappeared from social media again, and Tiny was spotted leaving a courthouse in Atlanta, visibly emotional, but silent. Rumors started swirling that she was preparing to file for separation, not because of cheating, but because of the lies. People can forgive mistakes, but lies, especially from the ones you trust most, cut differently. Meanwhile, King stayed quiet. After the storm he caused, he vanished from social media too. But a few close friends claimed he wasn't sorry. One of them said, "King felt like everyone was lying, pretending everything was okay when it wasn't. He just exposed what they were already hiding." And maybe, in his own way, he was right. Because sometimes the truth doesn't destroy a family, the lies do. Weeks later, T.I. finally sat down for a live stream, his eyes red, his voice heavy. "Y'all think you know, but you don't," he said. "This family's been through more than y'all can imagine. And as a man, I made mistakes. I ain't perfect, but I'll spend the rest of my life fixing what I broke." It wasn't a confession, but it was close. He didn't deny the footage. He didn't defend himself. He just looked broken, like a man realizing that fame, money, and pride had cost him everything that truly mattered. Tiny's silence, though, spoke louder than any live stream. She hadn't forgiven him. Not yet, maybe not ever. People close to her said she was focusing on healing, trying to protect her kids from the chaos, trying to rebuild her peace. And Shekinah? She was reportedly seeking therapy, struggling with guilt and public backlash. Her tears, her breakdowns, it all made sense now. She was living in the shadow of choices that would haunt her forever. In the end, that one leaked video did more than expose a secret marriage. It exposed years of buried pain. It showed that behind the fame and luxury, there were cracks in the foundation. Cracks that had been ignored until someone, in this case King, forced everyone to see them. It was messy, heartbreaking, and human, because no matter how rich or famous you are, lies have a way of catching up to you.